It's 2 a.m. Something wakes you. No alarm, no noise, just awake. And within seconds your brain pulls up every tormenting thought you have carried through the whole day and never actually dealt with. That's it. You are pulled under, wide awake, diving through everything you were trying to outrun with no way back to sleep. Why does your brain do this the second you open your eyes? I spent weeks digging into the actual science behind it. First, let's just acknowledge something. If this has ever happened to you, you are not alone in it. It's incredibly common, especially in people who are already carrying a lot of tension during the day. For a lot of us, it's actually the hidden reason behind restless nights. And yet, almost nobody talks about it openly, which makes it feel far more isolating than it actually is. There's a name psychologists use for it: nighttime rumination. Rumination just means replaying thoughts over and over without ever landing on a resolution. And at night, conditions are basically perfect for it to take out. Here's why. During the day, your brain is constantly distracted. Tasks, notifications, people, noise. These aren't just distractions. They are quietly suppressing your negative thoughts without you even realizing it. But the moment you lie down, the distractions disappear, and everything you'd been unconsciously pushing away all day comes flooding back. Think of it like this. Picture a busy street during the day. Cars passing, horns, engines, constant motion. You barely register any single of them. It all blends into background noise. But at 2 a.m., that same street is quiet, and now every car that passes, every horn in the distance, you hear very clearly. The traffic never stopped. Night just makes it impossible to ignore. Now here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about the silence. There are three things happening in your brain at night all at once that make it amplify the negative. Reason 1. Your prefrontal cortex goes quiet. This the rational part of your brain is the part that says, okay, calm down, it's not that bad. As you get tired, this part of the brain winds down its activity, which means the emotional part of your brain, the amygdala, starts running the show. No filter, no perspective, just raw feeling. That thing that's been sitting heavy in your chest since this morning, your amygdala reads it as crisis, threat, danger. Reason 2. Cortisol drops. Cortisol is one of your main stress managing hormones. During the day, in moderate amounts, it actually helps you cope. At night, it drops to its lowest point, which means your brain's natural stress buffer is basically switched off. Reason 3. Your brain is trying to file things away. This one is fascinating. Research on sleep suggests your brain uses the Presley window to sort through unresolved emotional experiences, a bit like a filing system working through the day's loose ends. The problem is, if you have got too many unresolved things, worry, guilt, unfinished conversations, it can file them fast enough so they just loop. So when you wake up at 2 a.m. for whatever reason, those three things are actively starting to do their job. And as a result, most people, even without realizing it, end up playing right into the game their brain has set up for them at night. Most of them reach for the same instinctive actions, mostly subconsciously. They try to distract themselves, forcefully focus on the good in their life, or just suppress the thought altogether, telling themselves to stop. And look, none of that is wrong exactly, but it misses the point entirely. Because trying to suppress the thought at 2 a.m. is like trying to silence a smoke alarm without checking if there's actually fire. The alarm isn't the problem. It's just doing its job, badly timed as it is. Switch it off, and whatever set it on is still there. The harder you try to push a thought away, the louder it gets. Psychologist Daniel Wegner demonstrated this back in 1987. He told participants, whatever you do, don't think about the white bear. Guess what everyone thought about immediately? Exactly. So the goal was never to fight the thought. The goal is to change your relationship with it. Because it was never really about tonight's specific thought. It's about something that never actually got resolved. Something you have been carrying for a while now. And your brain keeps pulling it back out the moment it gets a quiet window to do so. And trying to force it to stop doesn't touch that. It does the same job as the white bear example. It only strengthens it. What actually starts to shift things isn't fighting the thoughts that appeared at night, feeding it in this way. Because once you understand the mechanism behind it, you start to find your way towards the actual solution. So based on what we have just covered, here's what actually helps. First, a brain dump before bed. 15 minutes before sleep, write down whatever is on your mind. Not to solve it, not to journal beautifully, just to get it out of your head and onto the page. Studies on expressive writing suggest that putting thoughts into words can genuinely reduce their emotional weight. Your brain stops looping because, in a sense, it trusts the thought has been stored somewhere safe. Second, see emotion instead of fighting the thought. Remember earlier when we talked about the amygdala taking over at night? The emotional part of the brain running without much rational oversight. There's a simple way to bring your rational brain back into the room, and it starts with something small. Putting a name on what you are actually feeling. So instead of lying there trying to force the thought away, stop thinking about this, stop thinking about that, try something different. Just quietly name what's underneath it. Something like, I am feeling embarrassed about how that conversation went. Or, I am feeling anxious about what happens tomorrow. Not solving it, not arguing with it, just naming it, like you are describing it to someone else. This is sometimes called affect labeling, and there's real research behind why it works. A study out of UCLA had people look at emotional chart images while scanning their brain activity. When people simply put a word to what they were feeling. This looks like fear. This looks like anger. The researchers saw something interesting happen. The amygdala, the part of the brain driving all that raw emotional intensity, calmed down. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the rational, okay, let's think about this properly part, became more active. In other words, the simple act of naming a feeling seems to shift control from the part of your brain that reacts to the part of your brain that can actually think it through. It sounds almost too small to matter. But that is kind of the point. It's not about having a breakthrough at 2 a.m. It's about giving your brain a small deliberate signal that someone rational is back in the room. Third, give your brain a replacement task. Remember, your brain needs something to process. If you just remove the spiral without giving it anything else to do, it tends to come back. Instead, try something mildly engaging but emotionally neutral. An audiobook, a podcast, even planning tomorrow's meal. You are not distracting yourself. You are giving that feeling system something easier to work through. Look, nighttime thoughts probably won't disappear completely. And honestly, they shouldn't. In its own clumsy way, your brain is trying to protect you. But now you understand why it happens. And better still, you have got a few real tools to fight back with. I hope these few minutes gave you something that might help bring your sleep back and help you fight a bit more positivity into these nights. If there's a specific reason that keeps pulling you awake at 2 a.m., I'd genuinely love to hear about it in the comments. Let's talk it through together. If you are struggling with negative thoughts and looking for a way out, I've put together a free roadmap that walks through exactly what to do about it, step by step. I dropped the link below. It costs nothing but a few minutes, and it might save you a few of those 2 a.m. hours. Wishing you a calmer night tonight. I'll see you in the next one.